This video is sponsored by Pulsar Modular. Hello, I am Woochia and welcome to my Bits and Bobs. And today I have a plan. I have a plan that is in two parts. So the first part would be to talk about filter set that is called P565 Siren from Pulsar Modular. So part of the plan is to show you everything it can do, which is way more than simple filtering, and the other side of the plan is to show you sound design techniques that you could apply with any filter or effect. I will record some sounds we designed today to make a small sample pack that I will share on my Patreon. So if you are a Patreon, you can go ahead and download it. Alright, so this has a lot of knobs, so I will quickly describe everything starting from the top and working my way down. That will make it easier for later. The first one is the bypass, so it's the same as this button to turn the effect on and off. Then you have a button to flip the phase of the dry signal and one to flip the phase of the wet signal. So this can allow you to isolate the processed part of the sound. The wet signal is the signal that is processed by the effect, right? But in the wet signal you still have frequencies from the dry signal. So if you put the dry wet at 50%, those frequencies from both the dry and wet channels will add up. Well, if you flip the phase of either the dry or the wet signal, the frequencies that are common in both will cancel each other out instead. So you will be left with the rest, the frequencies that are different from the dry signal. That's the theory though. In practice, that can mostly help you get a cleaner sound. Here is with the distortion at 100% wet, at 50% wet, and now if I flip the phase, see, you can add a clean sub underneath. It has a bit more space for layering. And that was the first trick, by the way. In Ableton, you can flip the phase of a sound with the utility effect, if you want to replicate that with other effects. The next button is to activate the sidechain, which can control the envelope followers there. We'll see how it works. This one is the step filter mode, which snaps the cutoff of the filter on specific values. And this one is to turn on oversampling. This can help you get a cleaner sound with distortion as well, because distortions add higher frequencies, and when those frequencies are too high, they can be misinterpreted and create artifacts in the sound. That's what we call aliasing. So you can turn on oversampling here to avoid this aliasing. Next you have the A-B button, so you can make two versions of a patch and compare them by switching between A and B, and you can copy A to B or vice versa with this button. And then is the list of presets. You can save a new preset with this button or update the selected one with this one. And the last one is the menu that we will see a couple of times. Then going down we have a low pass filter here with its resonance that is there, and you can choose its slope between 12, 18 and 24 dB per octave. The steeper the slope, so the higher is this number, the more resonant is the filter. And you can turn it on and off with this LED here. On the other side you have a high pass filter with exactly the same settings, with the resonance here and the slope at the top. Then you have two more filters in the middle, which are identical. You can choose if they are a band reject, which will turn down the frequency it's pointing out, or if it's a bell, which will boost the frequency it's pointing out. So it's like a EQ point. So you can select different bandwidth for each one, represented with these icons, and you turn it on by clicking on this LED. So the second one is exactly the same with exactly the same settings, and at the top of each of them you have a range switch that you can turn on to have a more precise cutoff. So at 1x the range would go from 20 Hz to 200 Hz, at 10x it will go from 200 Hz to 2000, and at 100x it will go from 2000 to 20,000 Hz. Alright, so now these filters actually have a second mode. Right now they are either a band reject or a bell EQ, but if you click on the name you can make them either a notch filter, which completely cut a frequency, or a band pass filter, which will let a band of frequency through but cut everything below and above. So underneath the filters are the envelope followers. They will basically listen to the sound that come in the effect and move the cutoff of the filters depending on the level of the signal coming in. The left envelope can control the high pass filter or this filter, and the right envelope can control either the low pass filter or this filter on the right. In terms of controls, you have the amount to tell if you want to move the cutoff up or down. Then you have the attack to tell how fast the cutoff starts to move, and the release to tell how fast it comes back to its place. Funny thing is that the envelope actually reacts faster with higher values. That was a bit confusing at first. And then to make it react faster, you have a speed switch that can go to speed 1, 2 or 3. See, with the higher speed, the cutoff has time to go up further. And there are actually two modes that you can try for these envelopes. That's in the menu, and you can turn on or off the option MU. And finally, you have the level knob to control the signal controlling the envelope if you need to. And you can also choose to control this envelope with the sound of another track by activating this option at the top. Next up is the distortion with the drive knob in the middle. Then you have the option to place this distortion before or after the filters with this pre-post switch. And you can distort the sound way more than the maximum drive by activating this overdrive mode. Even with the drive at 0, you will hear the distortion, and resonant peaks sent in it will result in interesting sounds. Also, don't hesitate to play with the level of the sound you send in it to make it react more or less. And then finally at the bottom you have the output level, which is the output of the wet signal, and you have a mini out, which is the overall volume of the plugin. On the other side you have the dry wet knob, simple, and there is this delay knob that goes up to 100 milliseconds. By default that delays the wet signal, but you can decide to delay the dry signal instead. That's in the menu there. That's a simple knob, but that allows you to do many things, so we'll see that in a moment. For now, it's time to finally begin playing with it and design some stuff. And this will be in the second part of this video that I will upload tomorrow. All the actual sound design will be in there, so all the tips and tricks I would like to show you are gathered in one easy to find video. Hope you like it, see you tomorrow. I would like to thank a lot my Patreons who are supporting the channel. Thanks a lot to Pulsar Modular for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. In the meantime, have a good day or a good evening. Take care, and I'll see you next time.